Hello interwebs, welcome to VCUSports.com. We have a brand new video and I got some friends with me as we have a nice little discussion about VCU men's basketball. I'm Kazie.
I'm Derek.
I'm Darnell.
Let's discuss VCU's season thus far. VCU are currently 15-5 overall and they're 5-2 in A10 play. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the season thus far?
I think it's gone pretty much as well as you could have hoped. It could have gone to this point, considering the players that VCU lost. It hasn't been a slam dunk, but all the goals for VCU, to me, are still right out there in front of them to get.
Yeah, VCU has kind of been what they've been over the past few years. A consistently good team in the A10 and also being the teams they need to beat, with the exception of a couple others. I mean, let's go back to last week, Fordham.
Do we really have to talk about that game? Do we really have to talk about that game?
I thought we turned the page.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, we turned the page, but at the same time,
to...
I mean, you look back at the end of the season, that loss will still be there.
Yeah, well, that loss is gonna hurt a lot, but we've lost some other games where at the time it looked like was gonna kill VCU. Illinois,
Yeah.
Georgia Tech is another one. Both of those are top 100 teams in the RPI right now, and Illinois is they're like 49. So they're probably not going to stay in the top 50, yeah. But those losses haven't been the disasters that a lot of people thought they were going to be. The Fordham one is pretty much inexcusable, and that one's going to hurt. But
yeah.
I mean, the Fordham one was bad, but I mean, it was a middle of the week game. It was a road game, and it was in the Bronx instead of Brooklyn because we play in Brooklyn. Would probably be better because we have experience playing in Brooklyn.
A lot of issues.
But you know, the season overall has been hit or miss. You know, we have this talented team of young talent trying to figure it out. You got Coach Wade trying to figure out formulas, valuing the ball, fundamentals, and all this other stuff. You got players like Mo and Hamdi and Tillman now finally getting the paint game going up. Then turnovers. Good God.
Turnovers.
22 against Fordham, right?
Yeah.
They haven't been great at holding on to the ball this season, averaging roughly about 14 turnovers a game so far. I mean,
right.
That's why I think top 3 in the A10. I mean, not pretty good.
What, turnovers top 3 in the A10 or where they sit
where
right now?
Where they are in turnovers in the A10. I mean, that's one of the worst.
Yeah, but we do have, what is it, the fourth best A10 offense?
Fourth best offense, and I believe the second best defense in the conference, which is impressive because when you turn it over so many times, you give opposing offenses so many great opportunities to score. So I think that says a lot about our defense, kind of making up for all the turnovers.
Yeah, then also when they started A10 playing, it doesn't help they lost on Darnell Jenkins as well.
Yeah.
Losing him, and he was looking like he was coming into his own roughly about the end of non-conference play, going into A10 play, but that foot injury that he suffered didn't help things, especially with Wade having to kind of adjust to the lineup at just at different points in the season so far.
I think that has showed we have a surprising lack of depth in this lineup. That a lot of people, VCU is known for having a really deep team, known for being 9-10 deep, but with Darnell Jenkins out, we're really, our front court, or back court rather, is really about 5 deep with the last person. I mean, maybe you can make an argument for Malik Crowfield if you want to as being like a consistent contributor, but he's really only averaging about 8 or 9 minutes a game. Yeah. So I think we're a lot more shallower of a depth-wise than coming into the season maybe we thought we were going to be or maybe we expected to be.
Yeah, and then you also add, like, the injury bug's been hitting us. Like you said, Darnell Jenkins. You have Marco Frazier, who's currently has a knee injury. You had Tillman, who, you know, thankfully did not have a serious knee injury in the LaSalle game. You know, he somehow popped his knee back in and then played and scored over 16 points and almost had a double-double. So, yeah, kids, pop your knee back in and play basketball. It's going to be okay. And then on top of that, you had like small injuries, like Torrey Burston had his shin busted during like a shoot around. So the injury bug and like being limited as a team, like depth wise, has been an issue. But yet somehow they still got 15 wins. They got 5 wins in conference. We're not going to talk about the Fordham loss because that doesn't exist. So it's been hit or miss.
The Queens game doesn't exist.
That was an exhibition that shall never be speak of in the history of VCU ever again.
Right, but the Fordham game is going to be brought up by a lot of national media pundits when they discuss VCU in March about their tournament. Yeah,
but that's March though. We're going to keep that in March. But
even Wade knows it. He said their back is up against the wall. Yeah. Going into the Dayton game, even after their convincing win against LaSalle, going back to since they played Dayton this week, there's no room to exhale. And Wade knew it the entire time. He said he needs to win at least 14 to 15 conference games to, I guess, remain in that top NCAA tournament as an at-large bid.
Especially having a modified bye week.
Modified.
His words, not mine.
I know. I mean, still, you get 4 days off. I don't want to call it modified.
All right. Favorite player?
Favorite player? God.
For VCU, obviously.
JaVale McGee. But in all actuality with VCU, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't say I have a favorite player. I have players that I look forward to watching the most, and I mean, right at the top of the list, Justin Tillman, just because of the plays he's had. Like, James, put up Justin Tillman in the background. Put him up in the background, okay? I want a picture of him in the background, okay? Just to see, like, you can, like, just, when he is in the air, you just look up. Caw. And it's just a sight to see, especially with that golden hair. It's just like, he's not even on 9,000, it's 10,000 when he's in the air, okay? It's just amazing to watch. And then I can also throw in Doug Brooks, but I'll let somebody else do that, but that's for an entirely different reason.
It sounds like Justin Tillman's your favorite player.
Favorite? Yeah.
Birdman.
I mean, Froman. For me, I got my Jonathan Williams beard. I'm trying to grow the hair, but that's kind of a little bit further.
Yeah, ways to go.
Yeah, I got a little ways to go. It's not Giant Williams. Mine actually is also Tillman. But besides the dunks, I like him because of his rebounding prowess has gotten improved. His power game, like he now got a little sky hook action shot, like he has like a touchdown at the rim, and he just like gives energy like day in, day out. Doesn't matter if he's starting, doesn't matter if he's on the bench. I'd rather say he's be a starter, but I just love his game. Like overall, his game is now becoming a bigger impact for VCU.
He gets starters minutes too. What is he averaging? 23 minutes a game.
Yeah, 23 minutes a game.
So maybe like hybrid, like 6-man minutes maybe, but
yeah.
Enough to make a big, and very efficient in that time too.
And he's leading the team in rebounds.
Second in scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, who would have thought that? Second in scoring, Justin Tillman. If you were to go back to...
I did.
What they lost, who would it be?
Going back to November, like, honestly, you could probably say put Mo in there. A lot of people, there was a lot of hype around Samir coming into the season. And also Dariante.
But second leading scorer hype, I don't think anyone expected Samir to come out and play even near as well as he's played that we've actually seen.
Yeah, but Justin Tillman, second on the team in scoring, I mean, that's a big...
I thought it because I knew he was going to get at least 10 rebounds per game, and which leads to second chance points for their offensive rebounds. So I knew if he had a good rim protection prowess and able to get more rebounds, then that'll lead to more second chance points for him. So this is why it's not surprising for me.
Derek?
I guess this is chalk here, but I'm going to go with Jaquan Lewis as my favorite player, the best player.
Okay.
The leading scorer on the team. I think he's the most fun player to watch on the team. I mean, those pull-up threes with like 25 seconds left on the shot clock, those are always fun.
Foul trouble.
I mean, he does better than some do in that department.
Doug Brooks. The experience.
Yeah.
I love the experience, but foul trouble.
Jaquan, I think he's the Melvin of this year. He's the leading scorer. I think he's a team leader. He's the guy. He's the guy everyone looks to. You see him on the court. He's the one getting everyone going, getting the crowd going. He's the one the guys look to.
At first, when you said Melvin, I was like, three-pointer wise, I was like,
I'm pretty sure he's shooting better from the three-point arc this year than Melvin did last year. Melvin, I think, shot 38%.
Yeah,
Jaquan's at 40. Yeah, Jaquan's above 40.
Yeah, and early in the season, he was hovering over 50 for about the first 5 games of the season. It's obviously dropped off, but I mean, he's still shooting the ball at a really great clip.
He's not scoring the way Melvin did. He's averaging 15. Melvin averaged 17 last year, but the leading scorer on the team, he can dish out assists well. Minor turnover issues, but not the biggest.
Minor.
He has those.
He
has those games, okay, where it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. But they're happening less frequently as they have been in the past.
Yeah, as the season goes, like when it first started, let's be honest, Jaquan's turnovers made or break games. Now his
same thing happened last year.
Yeah, but it's like senior year, and you're still doing the same turnover thing that you did.
Right, but
junior
he's not
and
asked to
sophomore
be
year.
the point guard anymore. He's more of the 2 guard now.
Yeah.
And Jonathan Williams has stepped in and been the point guard and he has I say minor for Jaquan because Jonathan Williams, has a bigger turnover issue. He's averaging, what has he got?
Yeah.
Apparently, I just see 1.8 turnovers per game. I don't think that is correct.
I think part of that, honestly,
Jaquan's got 3 per game.
The Fordham game. I'm sorry, we keep going back.
Why do we keep bringing this up?
I'm sorry,
Why?
but I think that really increases. That's like an outlier that kind of makes the stat seem inflated. I'm really saying that to give Johnny Williams more benefit of that. I think his turnover
He had a bad game.
But that game kind of just is like the outlier. It's like when someone gets 40 points. You don't expect that from him, but
Right,
it kind of
and then
can
it bumps up.
inflate the stat sheet. That's all I'm saying.
So, out of all the players that we've mentioned, who has the biggest impact between a win and a loss for VCU? For me, it's Jaquan. As much as I love Jaquan, I love his game, I love his style, I love his energy and everything else, if he has a bad game, VCU is like destined to
Very
lose
probably.
the game. Because, he helps lead the offense. He tries to get passes out. He tries to get everybody involved. And if he gets his 3-point shots and his mid-range shots, then they have a very good chance to win. However, when he has a bad game, that's when you see things like go awry.
Everything stalls.
Like everything breaks. Like all of a sudden, then Wade has to try and figure things out on the fly to be like, all right, who can I feed the ball to now that my star point guard is not being able to produce?
Same.
I mean, I 100% agree. I think that's part of why he's the best player on the team. That's part of why he's my favorite player to watch because everything runs through him. I think another guy you could throw out there is Jonathan Williams if he's having a big turnover game or if he's able to facilitate the offense as well as we know he can. And that added jump shot also very much appreciated from Jonathan Williams. So I think he's another big guy to look to as far as how are the Rams going to perform today if he's playing well.
It's a combination of both the point guards of the team. And plus, I mean, last year in the past, they always had a scorer they could kind of lean on that can, like Melvin or Travion.
That's Jaquan.
But yeah, now it's Jaquan as being the facilitator and the main scorer. In the past, if Jaquan had a bad game, Melvin could dig you out of that hole. Same thing back to Travion. But now, when you're expected to be that main guy to facilitate and score, more responsibility. If you don't show up and not able to contribute like you should, it really has a direct correlation as to how the team plays.
I think that was the main focus when we first started the season. Now, as the season progressed, I see Jaquan is still the main target, still the main scorer, but now there's multiple options being shown as to, okay, if Jaquan can do it, then you can give the ball to Samir, and he could drive the paint, get mid-range. Jonathan Williams, beard included, he can drive into the paint and get some buckets. You got Justin Tillman, who's now becoming... Yeah, Fro included. Well, Fro.
Put your hat back on.
I'll put my hat back on. You got Tillman. You got Hamdi, who is... I know.
You've got Hamdi.
Hey, he's got 2 double-doubles in the last 3 games. He's getting a touch now. It's not great. It's good for right now. There's progress. Trust the progress. We're not talking about Doug. We're talking about Hamdi. Trust the progress of Hamdi as well.
Well, I think
Don't ever say that to me again.
part of the problem with this year, I think, is the secondary guys to go to are not in the backcourt. It's kind of Jaquan as a scorer. Mm-hmm. He's the guard that's the scorer, and then you have to go down a few players before you get to another backcourt guy. Whereas in the front court, those are the 2 big scorers right there, with Mo and Justin Tillman being 2 and 3 scoring on the team. So I think that's an interesting thing we haven't seen from VCU teams a lot, where the front court has such an emphasis on scoring, not just defense or facilitating, kind of playing inside out or anything like that. Those are the guys that have to get it done. Forwards, Justin and Mo, and Jaquan's kind of alone in the backcourt. He's got a little bit of help, but not as much help as I would like. Like if I were to add one player to the team, I would add a guard. I would add a scoring guard to the team, someone who could shoot and really help out Jaquan.
All right, guys. So far, VCU 5-2 in the A10, currently holding down a tie for second place alongside Richmond and LaSalle in the A10. But I mean, we still have 11 games to go. Some teams have 12. But how do you see this team so far? Where do you see them ending up in the A10?
I see VCU at least in the top 4. I do think Coach Wade's target number of 12 to 13 A10 conference wins is still plausible. It's still up there. They can still do it. I see them like fighting with Dayton and maybe even Richmond, who's been a surprise for me this year, and even Rhodey if they get their act together with all, injuries and character issues and stuff during the game. And I still think they can get to the top 4. Can they win the regular season championship? It's a long shot, but it's still possible because it's still conference play and anything can happen.
I would agree with the top 4 finish. I think if you look at VCU's record, since they've been in the A-10, you look at their regular season finishes, second, 5th, that was the year Briante got hurt, and then tied for 1st last year. So if Briante doesn't get hurt, there's no reason to think they're not a top 3 team in, 2015 was the conference season there. Again, I don't see any reason why they can't be a top 4 team, which is big. You get that double bye in the conference tournament. There are a lot of great opportunities, a lot of great wins. The issue is they're not a slam dunk to be a top 4 team because they have such a high ceiling, but they have such a low basement. We've mentioned the Fordham game a couple times already.
Let's stop bringing up the Fordham game.
It's there.
That's
it will always be there.
It's a reality of this team, but so is the LaSalle game. The LaSalle game's a reality of this team. The Baylor game, they lost, but Baylor was number 1 in the country, and they were beating them for what, 30 minutes or so?
Game.
Right.
30 minutes.
Right. So my point is, this is a very good team that's capable of beating every team in the A-10, but they're also capable of losing to pretty much every team in the A-10. That doesn't mean I don't think they will.
Like Fordham.
But I think they'll find.
Good job. You brought it up.
I'm bringing it up, okay? I'm growing up. I'm growing up, okay? I got it.
They'll find a way to grab 11, 12 wins, which 11 wins might be all it takes to get 4. To get a top 4 seed in the conference tournament. If you look at how much parity there is this year, you look at teams losing, like Rhode Island losing, Richmond rising up, but then they've taken some 2, quick losses. So there's a lot that's up in the air, but there's certainly potential for VCU, and no reason to think, given past history, that they won't be a top 4 seed in the A-10.
Yeah, I think right now we can all look at Dayton as the top team, but I wouldn't say it's about.
As of right in the standings,
they're number 1 in conference.
If you're looking at the wins and losses right now, yes, they're number 1 team.
Yes, but it's not by a large margin, though.
Yeah, well, that's why I went, but go on.
And also,
they've had some injuries, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, just with that team right there, they're number 1 in the A-10 in defense, only holding teams to 60 points per game in conference play. VCU not far behind them, and both teams are 1 and 2 in defense. I mean, kind of previewing their matchup this Friday where they take.
It's gonna be huge.
Stop it.
Okay,
but I mean that could decide who will be at the top of A-10. Granted, these 2 teams
right now
will face.
Well, right now it will certainly.
Yeah, and granted, I mean them 2 will face each other again at the end of the season.
Right. And both teams have plenty of more tests to go. So if one team sweeps it or the other team sweeps it, whoever. That doesn't decide anything. There's still 11, 12 games that each team still has to play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
I'm also looking at it right now because you got VCU. They're playing Dayton, then they're playing Richmond, and then they're playing St. Bonaventure. It's at St. Bonaventure.
And last time they went there, they lost. And St. Bonaventure wasn't that good.
They were very hurt
at that
year.
time.
Yeah, but
I believe Travion Graham and Briante Weber were both injured in that game.
The Bonnie fans
and they rushed the court even though we didn't.
By a buzzer
did not have
beater.
their best.
They got the win, and last year they were improved. This year they're holding steady in the A-10. I think 3rd right now at a 4-2 record. But I mean, this is a tough stretch for VCU all in all.
So basically what we're saying is that VCU needs to handle business in a few more A-10 games to say that they possibly will be in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes. We got 6 weeks left in the college basketball season, and then March happens. March, anything can happen. And if you look at the NCAA tournament, I mean, how many teams do you think could get in?
From the A-10?
Yes.
Let's save that one for March. We've still got a lot of basketball left.
Okay.
Let's save it for March.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this experimental video. Thank you so much for watching it. Follow us on Twitter at VCUSports. Like us on Facebook at VCUSports. Follow us on Instagram and like all of our beautiful pictures at VCUSportsRVA. For other information about these guys over here, you can follow them at...
I am at I Like Darnell on Twitter.
And at Derek Marion on Twitter.
And I am at Shadow Kazie also on Twitter.